I bet you can't guess what that is. This. It's the middle of my scope. Okay, we are doing some deep surgery today. So actually, I'm really impressed with how easy this is going. So I had something kind of bizarre happen. I noticed that my stars suddenly started looking like they were pinched, and my flats got really crazy looking too. I had to redo them, and I was like, what's going on here? And I looked down at my scope through the optics, and the light baffles in it had tilted. Okay, all three of them actually. Now, these things are just pressed into the tube, and at first I got out my Allen key set, and I thought I was going to have to do some like heavy-duty lifting here, but actually it's been really simple. You can do this with your hands, basically. There is not really much to it, but yeah. So, anyways, what I have done is, taken the thing apart. Now, the frontmost baffle, I did go in here and I'm gluing them back down. So what there is these little gaps in them, and I'm putting like a dab of glue at that gap point. Now, and the glue that I'm using, by the way, if you're curious about it, it's just some E6000, which is a pretty versatile glue. I actually use it for a lot of different things. But the reason I choose this glue is because it's a flexible glue after it hardens. And so as this thing shrinks, whatever, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm having this issue, is, it will be a little bit elastic, okay? It won't like tug or warp anything outside of the design of the components, all right? So right now I am doing the middlemost baffle, which I'm actually going to reach in quite a ways. I did take my watch off for this, and we're just putting like little dabs of glue on here, and actually that one is a little bit too dry, so we're going to do ourselves a favor and get some fresh stuff. So one of the nice things about this glue is you can just basically get it on yourself. You just rub it, and there's actually something in the oils in your hands that like causes this stuff to kind of break down and just like fall apart essentially. So it's not at all a permanent type of glue. So that's the difficult one. So what I'm essentially doing, get all my angles right so I can get some light down there, but going all the way down in there and basically sticking the brush in between one of these little gaps and then just twisting it to get enough glue to kind of hold everything. It's not going to take much. I'm not going to take this thing to war with me anytime soon. So this is the last one. This is the innermost baffle. So let's go ahead and put it in there. Yeah, you just tip it on the side, slide it in place, and then rotate it. Now, where mine were is pretty pronounced in there. It looks like the powder coating that they put on the inside of this thing was something that they did after installing these baffles. Because the baffles, they're just kind of pressed in there, so to speak. And mine left pretty good marks that are pretty easy to see. If you cannot see yours, and this happens to you, what I would recommend you do is get, I don't know, like a dowel or something like that, and stick it down there and basically mark on it, and then make measurements the whole way around so you can make sure that the thing is exactly parallel or perpendicular. Yes, this one is a lot easier to do because it's a lot closer to the end of the tube. There we go, there's all that. Now let's get it back together again here. I'm going to get these Allen wrenches out of the way. Let me know what you think of the lighting. I moved this light over here kind of so I could see, but yeah, I wonder if I should keep it this way. Alright, so let's go ahead take this part, screw it together. Pretty easy. Now for the Alright, so now for the fun part. This would scare a lot of you. I've been doing this for years though. Like, this really is not hard at all. Here comes, this is the optical cell. And something I want to do here is check the back of the lens, because once I stick this thing on here, there isn't going to be any reaching through here to like get dust off the back of the lens. There's actually a little bit of dust on the back side of this. Usually this is not something you have to worry about, the back side of the optic, just because it's so far in. There's a big long thread. Oh, there we go. That feels right. It should just go right on. You know, if you feel resistance like I just did, that means you're cross-threading it. You don't want to do that because they're big, they're long, they're very small threads, given the diameter of this thing. And I'm gonna make sure that's pretty snug. And now to this guy right here, which is really just kind of like a vanity plate, so to speak. Has the optical size and formula and manufacturer written on it. Now, a couple things like I'm going to point out to you here. So like these white spots underneath those are set screws that the three optical elements are shifted around to basically collimate this thing. And this is something that's typically done at the factory. I'm obviously not going to get into that because we haven't really disturbed the cell or anything like that. Now if this thing had taken a fall, well then we might actually like do that, but it hasn't done that obviously. And then also there are these things. There's actually three of these. They're basically just set screws that allow us. This is actually one adjustment that you could do if you need to. And I've talked about this before, where let's say if this optical assembly right here is not pointed exactly at your sensor, what will happen is on your sensor, like it'll kind of look like this, where the bright spot is kind of off-centered. And with a refractor, basically you're going to be loosening and tightening these to actually aim this thing at the sensor. And that is actually something that's not terribly difficult to do. I know I'm going to be checking this guy here afterwards, but I actually don't anticipate having to mess with those at all. So that is that, and here's the shade. And I like big shades because it protects the optics. And these here Allen keys I gotta tighten up again because I thought I would need to mess with them, but turns out I didn't really need to. In order to take this thing apart. And then on goes the lens shade, although we'll give the optics a quick look, and they do look a little dirty. Alright, so what I'm using here, this is eye clear. This is for Apple screens and lenses and optics and stuff. It's an Apple. There's a product made back in the Apple days. It's actually a pretty old bottle. I've had it for a very long time, but it's a great cleaner. I don't want to tell you about it because you won't be able to find it. It's not made anymore. Really though, just about any lens cleaner, even Windex will work, all right? If you water it down some, if you're a little bit scared about using Windex. And that's because today's optics are fluoride coated. They're very, very durable. Now, if your scope is more than 30 years old, in other words, it was made before 2000, you probably would want to get something that's specifically for cleaning optics. And that's because some of the older coatings were more fragile. But today's coatings are very, very durable. So let's get this guy back in here. Clamp it down. And I think it's actually supposed to be clear tonight, so I get to kind of test some things out. I've got the Stella Vita hooked up right now. I think that's what I'm going to use tonight. And then this guy right here, this is my dew strap. I suspect that this may actually be my culprit for this. Maybe this thing got too hot. Not sure. Because I sometimes have a little bit of a habit of letting it drift back a little far. Then I have to really amp it up in order to keep the actual optic warm. But actually, let's see here. Let's go around this. They give you really long cords with these things. It's sort of overkill. One word of advice about putting on your dew heater. The tighter you have it on there, the more efficient is going to be the transfer to your scope. So if power is a concern to you, you're running off batteries, so to speak, well then that's something to take into consideration and to just work with. So there we go. It's ready to go.